Norman Lear must rate as one of television's innovative pioneers. He was the guiding force in bringing Archie Bunker to TV and All in the Family, also The Jeffersons, Sanford and Son, and Maude. And if you had to nominate someone who shook up TV in the 70s, it says here, it would be hard to, well, I'm having trouble again. It would be hard to omit my mouth. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure now to have with us Mr. Norman Lear. Norman, how are you? Pleasure to see you. You're going to have to go back around. Thank you. You know,
May I
certainly, do whatever you like.
Just tell you something about the shoe repair windows. I figure laughter adds time to your life. I had 2 or 3 laughs in there watching that piece that had to add 6, 7, 8 minutes to my life.
Well, that's good.
I thank you.
I'm glad we can provide that public service. You know, when you start thinking about your television shows, you figure, of course, All in the Family, and then Maude, and then The Jeffersons, and then before you know it, you've got like a pretty healthy list there. How many shows that lasted for more than a week have you been responsible for?
Well, I think when, about 3 years ago, I needed to stretch in other directions creatively and left the half hours. Company still continues to make them, but at the time I think we figured that I had been involved with 2,600 and some half hours.
Good heavens.
2,600 shows.
Right, but supplied that much programming.
That much programming, yeah.
And of course, Mary Hartman.
And
Mary
Fernwood.
Fernwood tonight, yeah.
So I saw a lovely mention of in connection with David Letterman.
That's right, it was very flattering for us, yeah.
I loved it.
Now, when All in the Family went on the air, it seems silly now in retrospect that there was such heat, negative heat involved with that show, doesn't it? Or does it?
No, it does. But there was a, you know, H.L. Mencken once quipped, I hope idly, that nobody ever lost money underestimating the intelligence of the American people. And I never thought anything did more harm. Somehow, television networks believed that. So I don't know why they thought that there'd be knee-jerk reactions in the middle of the country simply because you were talking about this subject or that. And they were frightened to death. And
CBS was the one that was, obviously, they disavowed, didn't they? They had some kind of a disclaimer involved with the show?
At the top of the show, I forget what they said, yeah.
That they actually said that what you're about to...
That's like putting a sign up saying, tune in, tune in.
Yeah. The point of view, I guess, you had 2 points of view there. You had Archie, who was the quintessential conservative, and then his son-in-law, who was...
Yeah.
Now, which represented the view of the show or your view?
Well, I don't know that either did. Each was supposed to have represented... Mike, as we tried to write him, was a horse's ass of a liberal. And Archie was his own kind of conservative. So we tried to balance it as much as we could. But we never heard from somebody who thought Archie was right on. We never heard from a real bigot in the tens of thousands of letters through all the years. We never heard from a real prejudiced individual who didn't say somewhere at the end of the letter, but why do you make him such a fool each time?
Yeah, yeah. Do you think that, I guess this is hard to gauge, that characterization made people think that it was okay to have those beliefs, or did they actually see the subtlety of how silly the guy was looking?
The lesson was not lost. I don't think nothing changes anybody's mind. I mean, I can't believe it. So I don't think you took any hardened bigot would watch All in the Family and become a changed individual.
Yeah.
But the lesson was not lost in that every time they corresponded with us, they were there to say, but why do you make them foolish? They knew what the point of view of the show was, that it was not condoning bigotry.
You got some, speaking of correspondence, you got some criticism from President Nixon at the time, didn't you, about something?
Oh, yeah, it was one show, he said something about well, he was one of those people who didn't understand why we made such a fool of a nice man.
And do you remember
It was a show in which Archie was accusing a friend of Mike's of being gay, and fag is what he said, and simply because he had been to London and wore glasses. And I remember Mike saying, just because the man wears glasses and talks nicely, you call him a fag? He said, no. He said, because he wears glasses, he's a four eyes. Because he's a fag, he's a fag. And that was Archie.
Yeah.
And then, as it turned out in the story, Archie had a friend who played football. in the bar whom the whole community knew to be gay. And Archie learned on that particular show that he was, to his astonishment.
Yeah.
That was the show that Nixon referred to.
On other matters, and believe me, just on this one show, we could fill up endless hours of discussion. You're doing another project, and we're going to see some videotape of that. If you tell us what we're looking at and tell us
oh, well, it's Sunday night, March 21st, ABC, show called I Love Liberty, 2 hours. Celebration of traditional American values in an entertainment. Barbara Streisand, Kenny Rogers, Robin Williams. I think you're going to see
in this clip.
One of the most incredible pieces of business. I won't say any more about that, but it's Robin. And Walter Matthau, Christopher Reeve, a whole host of people.
Pretty exciting. That was, you mentioned that that's a huge arena.
Yes, that was 9,000 to 10,000 people. Everywhere that camera looked, the background was a sea of American faces.
This, of course, is Robin Williams, busy keeping our subways safe.
Remember, don't leave home without a segue. We are the Guardian Comedians. Remember, why did you walk into a bar? I don't know. You got it. If someone says knock, knock, know who's there. Oh, now I feel like doing it. Oh, Jesus. For $1, not a bad prop.
No, it's pretty good. Norman, I guess you and I can leave now, huh?
No. They're out there, I swear to God.
Thanks for coming in here. We're going to go away, though, but we'll be back. Hi there. Welcome back to the extravaganza, ladies and gentlemen. Norman Lear is here, and also Mr. Robin Williams has joined us unexpectedly, and I guess explain why you're here unexpectedly. Explain
I really
why
don't know.
you're here
I can't
at all.
tell you. It's unexpected to me, too.
You're visiting New York City for the purpose of?
Oh, I was just to see it to be real again. To have people go like, get away, get off TV, get off TV.
He's made a remarkable motion picture in which I hear he is absolutely brilliant, and they're doing some kind of a screening tomorrow night called Garp, and that's why he's here.
Yeah. That and hell, I just like it here. It's so nice to have people describe themselves to you.
Oh, that's good. And what now? You just have to keep going because some of it won't make any sense. So you just keep moving along.
Yeah, just keep like
right.
California. Just talk like this, and people go, "Oh, okay, we understand."
Yeah, sure. So what were you going to say, Norman, about the show the clip we saw from?
Oh, I mean, he does 5 minutes that are just some of the most brilliant 5 minutes. I don't know. Why don't you tell him about the rest of the show?
Sure, Dad.
Did you watch what you weren't in?
Yeah, I saw it.
Tell him a little bit about it.
Well, it was scary. There were 9,000 people, and you walk out and we rehearsed for about a week, and wrote it and pumped it up, and you look at me like,
and say hi to Mitzi. David, the show's doing great.
I saw the article in Time.
Robin will come up in the audience and explain these to you individually.
Pass it back. There's still a woman in the back going,
So different. He's gained so much weight.
even the stripes on the shirt don't help. Like, oh, this is the end of
They
your
want to run
viewing
the
day.
other way, Robin.
They run the other way. I look like, oh, hi.
You know what I wanted to ask you, Norman? It was about the mail that you got on that one particular show, All in the Family.
I found a burning copy of Watchtower on my lawn after that. Two people going,
Mr. Williams, we'd like to talk to you about this. You're going to rot in hell for what you did.
Okay, now if we could just wait until we're called on. Now, anyway, the mail that you got on All in the Family. There's some interesting things you mentioned that folks write, but what would they tell you about where they worked and so on? And
a finished production always looks so simple. Anything you do on television looks so simple, and everybody feels they can write. Don't you all feel you can write something for television? Yes, everybody feels they can write something for television. So, you run into people constantly, or you get a letter. Mr. Lear, next time you're in Hartford, Connecticut, you stop into the John Irving shoe store. You want to see funny, we'll show you funny. Things go on here you can't believe.
Yeah.
Or the post office, or the drugstore.
Yeah.
There's a situation comedy. There probably is a situation comedy in everything.
That, in fact, Dick Cavett mentioned something similar in his book, and I'm sure that Robin has had this. You get a lot of mail from people saying, gosh, I'd love to meet you. If you're ever in Wichita Falls, Texas, call us.
Call me and Billy Bob. We'd love to hurt you.
That's right.
We'd like to drag you behind the truck for
Cavett had a fantasy. He said it would be really interesting to see what happened if one weekend he just went to Wichita, Texas.
Shut up.
Hi, I'm Dick Cavett. I do the talk show out of New York. Just see what would happen. Spend the weekend with these poor folks.
Oh, we forgot we wrote that letter. Slam.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, somebody. Who is it? Go.
Of the series of shows that you were involved in with All in the Family, which one was or maybe none of them, but was there one that was really tough to wrestle on the air to get past CBS or whomever?
Well, in the early days, they all were. I mean, we did a show. Mike Stivic was impotent. He was working hard on studying for his examinations, and didn't know what his problem was. Didn't realize the anxiety was causing him the impotence. And Gloria and he were concerned about it. And just the subject, I must say, it was a terrific show. And the subject frightened the network to the point where, well, I was going to fire everybody and send everybody home or put the show on the air because the network would, oh, I don't want to talk about that. Everything is so happy and peaceful.
They're nice people, really. Hi, how are
and
you?
they are, and they are. I mean, everybody's doing their thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was, I mean, it's history. You got a chair there in the Smithsonian from the...
It's my father's chair, you know.
Yeah, I didn't know that, no.
Well, it isn't really. It's Archie's, but my father had a red leather chair that we... Sunday nights was radio night in those days. You guys wouldn't remember when there was no television. No, you wouldn't remember when there was no television.
You remember when they used to have people pounding on drums?
We used to sit around this red leather chair, pounding on drums and listening to the radio. And my father controlled the dial from his red leather chair. Territorial imperative. Nobody could go near that chair. I'd sneak into it when he wasn't there, of course. So I see the signal, too. And I can do this story in about 4 seconds.
Okay.
What does this mean?
So when we did All in the Family...
There's another guy with it. You also work at the airport, I see.
Well, that's the 4 seconds. We'll be right back. Hi. We have to go. We're out of time. Ruth Norman, the cosmic visionary, the lady who lived on Mars, will not be here. I'm awfully sorry. I want to thank everyone who was here. John Waters and Divine, Mr. Norman Lear. Thank you very much, sir. Our surprise guest, Robin Williams. Monday, Gloria Steinem, author, umpire Ron Luciano, a look at medical aids, and a special late-night report on everyone named Jimmy. Have a good weekend, folks. Bye-bye.